Okay, before I get into this, I just want to say that I have looked, I've looked into this and I've learned that Doreen Ford, the interviewee here, was fired from this Reddit thread, whatever it is. I don't know anything about Reddit, so I don't know what it is. I know it's a website, but outside of that, I've never been there, so I don't know what the hell is going on. Obviously, well, it's a thread. I'll add that as Doreen was fired from this thread, which is anti-work, I don't understand why she was involved with it to begin with, because Doreen is not anti-work. She's speaking out against what some commenters in David Pacman's video have pointed out, exploitation. So, this person misrepresented the anti-work thread, so she was fired. And but the point of my channel is to break down what is said. So I'm not representing anything or anybody. I'm just breaking down what is said and not doing my thing. That's all this is. So anyway, yeah.
Subscribers. Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid by corporate America?
Yeah, so there's some misconceptions about the movement. So we're a movement where we want to reduce the amount of work that people feel like they're forced to do. And so we want to still put in effort, we want to put in labor, but we don't want to necessarily be in a position where we feel trapped. You know, you just quoted from Office Space, where that person feels very trapped in their job.
So yeah, Doreen's position is psychological, feeling trapped, along with making needed changes to employment, as Jesse probably deliberately misrepresented Doreen. I agree with both of these, as I'm all about economic trial and error, which would involve improving the workplace. Ideas such as minimizing hours, automating shit jobs so that everybody can get into a line of work they're interested in. Also, the idea that business owners should divide the profits among all employees, which even the leftist people would be appalled by because they're also assholes.
I think we're calling for a society where there's less of that. But yeah, absolutely, people still want to do things. They just want to do things where they feel rewarded and they feel like they're in a good spot in their life, and that their job respects them and stuff like that. You know, there's varying.
So Doreen, you're not being forced to work. This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment, and you know you can.
Which is exactly what Doreen is referring to, Jesse. That's what Doreen is talking about changing, you jackass. Jesse also mentions that nobody is being forced to work, which is a shitty talking point because while employment is optional, those terms and conditions are not, while we are all being forced to make the choice. Or guess what? We fucking starve to death, right? The religious use the same shit. They argue that God allows us to choose, but while the choice itself is mandatory, the only other option is undesirable and eternal. You see the problem there?
Walk away from that job at any time and quit. So I don't understand really what this is about, except it sounds like maybe people are just being...
Who said that nobody is allowed to walk away from the job? I remember hearing this years ago. Fuck. It's so ridiculous. These people and their fucking tactics.
Lazy? Are you encouraging people to be lazy?
What? What about what Doreen just said implies laziness, Jesse, you fucking prick? I've seen people argue this against Doreen in another video commentary, when Jesse here is the one who fucking said it. Wow, people are so fucking dishonest. Of course, I've also read ad hoc comments from people insulting Doreen, saying she smells like a Reddit person. This indicates they have no point or valid arguments.
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where people constantly want you to be productive 24/7, and it's good to have rest. That doesn't mean you should be resting all the time or not putting effort into things that you care about. But I think one of the
What do you think is like a good work?
Yes, most people in the world have turned hard work into a religion, claiming hard work for a living is both a virtue and our life purpose. And these people will say anything less, and any different ideas or opinions are just laziness, which is nonsense. A lot of these people also have this toxic attitude that everybody should just be able to either achieve or overcome any hardship just because they did, and tend to come down on anybody who complains or says otherwise.
Day. How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal
Right.
society?
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah. So
how
I
old
find a
are
lot
you,
of
if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay.
Relevance?
And is there something you want to do besides being a dog walker? Do you aspire to do anything more than dog walking, or is that kind of your pinnacle?
What's the point of that?
I love.
I don't understand what his point about aspiration is. There are so many shit jobs in this world that need to be done, while everybody fears machines taking their jobs. Jesse is trying to change the subject on Doreen. This is common when the person has no valid argument in his position. I mean, he was fucked up by the start.
Working with dogs, if I had to do this for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be super complaining. Dogs are wonderful animals. But I would love to teach. I would love to,
Teach.
Work with people and stuff like that.
What
on
would
that.
you
Yeah.
teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly, just
Philosophy.
introduction to philosophy, critical thinking, reason, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your class, Doreen. I would just be taking notes the whole time, and you know what? A professor's a very similar schedule than something that you're imagining. So I think that actually might work perfectly for you. Listen, I think this might not be the greatest idea, but who am I to judge? To each their own, they say. It's a free country.
Is it?
Sure.
Not
Yeah.
everything's free.
He's coming a guy who
It is a
wants
free
to work
country.
hard for a
Thank
living.
you so much.
Sure.
We got to run. We got to pay the bills.
Yeah, that's real freedom right there. Okay, so this whole whatever this was completely pointless. Nothing valid was said from neither of them. Just bullshit.